And that's going to be a lot of fun tonight, and I hope the Rebs pull it off because I'd like to continue calling this. I'll call it all the way to the state championship, but it's going to be a good one. My first look at Glenville and Coach Ginn and what he's got over there, and Coach Duffy's Rebels. It's going to be a good one tonight. 7:30 is the kickoff, a little bit later than usual for playoff action. First round playoff action tonight. I'll be calling it. Willoughby South and Glenville. 13:30 a.m. WINTradio.com. Pregame 7:15. Kickoff at 7:30 tonight, guys. Speaking of kickoffs, tomorrow, the big one for the Buckeyes, the one a lot of people have had circled, including most of the Buckeyes and their coaches and players. 7-1, 4-0 in the Big Ten Buckeyes. 7-1, 4-0 in the Big Ten Spartans. Ohio State and Michigan State. Spartan Stadium is the home in East Lansing. 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Big one here is this is pretty much the one lone outlier here until you get to a championship game for the Buckeyes to make any ground up, make some hay in their chase for a potential opportunity to perhaps see some playoff action, but that's looking too far ahead. You're looking at revenge. You're looking back instead of forward if you're the Buckeyes. A lot of Buckeyes feel Michigan State to blame for what happened, and it's time to make them pay. I think the Buckeyes have a shot for sure. Dan Wismar and I talked about this when we previewed the game earlier. I like Connor Cook, by the way. I think he's a good quarterback over there on the other sidelines. Maybe a little difference in the weapons he's got here. Langford's come up big for him as a rusher, but, I like Lippett, a good wide receiver. Big drop-off after him, though, as far as looking for a number 2 guy. But I do like Connor Cook. I saw Brian Hoyer even talked about, of course, the Michigan State guys. But he talked about how he thought that he may be the best of the bunch, which says a lot there. So I like the way he plays. Really, he took off against the Buckeyes. I mean, he was doing well before that. But, I mean, that was the game that made people go, man, Connor Cook. And since then, he's just been on a roll. Last 22 games, Connor Cook, 39 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And this season, he's got that offense cooking. Both really statistically, the two teams quite identical. Buckeyes averaging 45.6. Michigan State averaging 45.5 points a game. Defensively, Buckeyes giving up 19.9. Michigan State 20.3. It is as close as can be statistically. Buckeyes 4-1 at home. Michigan State, the key 5-0, but on the road, Buckeyes 3-0. So something has to give. One team hasn't lost at home. One team hasn't lost on the road. Neither team's lost in the conference or the division. Here we go. Let's see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the Buckeyes show up. J.T. Barrett under the lights in the big stage. Let's see what that kid goes out there and does. He's got 23 touchdowns through the air and counting for the Buckeyes. Going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one and coming back and talking to you guys about it here on Monday with the aforementioned Dan Wismar. He'll be here. We'll talk about not only the Buckeyes and the Spartans and the fallout of that, but all that happens here this weekend. Couple of good top 25 matchups talking about those playoff chases. You got Oregon, who just popped back into they're now technically on the driver's seat in the early going here. They've got a tough one with Utah. Alabama, LSU here. You got a couple of top 10 matchups. Notre Dame and ASU going at it. You got Kansas State and TCU. Some good top 10, top 15 matchups. Baylor and Oklahoma. The Buckeyes, of course, matching up with the Spartans, as we said. A lot of good ones. We'll talk about all of that with Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan on Monday. NFL, just because the Browns are done does not mean football's done for the weekend. As you guys know, there's a ton of good games coming up here this weekend as well around the NFL. Monday, John McMullen from the Sports Network will be here as we talk about all of that and his thought on how the Browns kicked off this week's action with their victory over Cincinnati. 24-3, by the way, for those of you that may have forgotten there. We'll talk about the other AFC North teams. Baltimore taking on Tennessee here this weekend. Pittsburgh has the New York Jets. And so I'm just going to tell you now, odds are come Monday, the Browns will be back to a half a game out of first place because I'm not exactly banking on the Jets to take care of some business, especially the way that Pittsburgh offense has been up and humming here. So We'll see what happens with that. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about all the games that go down. John McMullen from the Sports Network, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. We're talking Cavs, Buckeyes. We're talking all of that. Don't forget Monday, Vikings tip off an exhibition game as they get going. College hoops, man, it's on and cracking now. We're going to talk about it all. Guys, enjoy the weekend. It starts tonight. Whether you're watching playoff high school football, whether you're watching some of the college games tonight, whether you're into the Jackets and the Monsters or the Cavaliers late, and it rolls all weekend long. Enjoy it all. Soak it in. Come back, baby, on Monday. Talk to us. Same bad time, same bad channel, live at noon here on the Sports Fix, on the Sports Fix Radio Network. We love you, Cleveland. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday. You know where. Right here on The Fix.
About the paper, gotta make sure the lights on. There's no mistake on the lake to you, but this is my own. Tatted it on my arm, that I represent that. Homie, I'm from Cleveland, I will tell the president that. Hardest, yeah, we been there. Made some of the greats here. Midwest best, this is MGK's, yeah. Shouts out to St. Clair, uptown, yes, y'all. Heading to the flex, get it popping up with step flaws. Whole state monster, this the home of King James. We are not the empire, but this is where the kings play. Cleveland, let's go.